Joe Kleen, Southern Hospitality, February 14th, 1990, 146. Sarah clambered up the steep steps to line 4 while Lois Lewinsky followed at a more sedate pace. "Stay here for just a moment," Sarah directed as she walked to the opposite edge of the tower platform, secured her zip line tether to a hook, and then motioned Lois forward. "Thank you," she continued, holding her arms straight out horizontally and beckoning Lois to come forward from where she waited at the top of the stairs with a forefinger flutter before holding her hand stationary in anticipation of Lois's zip line tether. "Are you enjoying yourself?" "Immensely," Lois confirms. "It's truly lovely up here, and you're doing a terrific job." "Oh, how kind of you to say so. Thank you so much." "Of course," Lois replies with a smile. "Ready?" Sarah asks. "Ready," Lois says. Sarah's "Then fly, my little Greeby, fly," is met with a look of confusion, which causes her to smile and add, "A waterfall you find around the island. They dive beautifully in sky and sea. I'll keep my eyes open for one, but we likely won't see any so far inland." "Go," she says again with a laugh. "Going," Lois says before inhaling deeply and stepping off the platform. As John ascends, Kat asks Joe, "So how long have you been a bike mechanic?" 1986, 85 if we push it. I helped out at a Trek Super Sale at Central Cycles in New Britain spring of 85, and then in 86 I finished my student teaching in early spring, but wasn't going to get married until the end of May. Misty had already moved to Atlanta, but after vacillating back and forth over heading south to joining her, I chose to stay home. No need to ruffle feathers with us living together before we got married, you know? Anyway, I worked for Barry for a little over 3 months, headed down to Atlanta in search of a teaching position, and then got bored. We were living in an apartment, and obviously Mist was working, so I had a lot of time on my hands. July, I see a help wanted ad for Challenge Cyclery and wound up working there full-time until Thanksgiving when I got hired as a teacher. How about you? 88, Kat says, nodding. I was looking for part-time work at Shiftless Gears in Bemidji had a help wanted sign in their window. That's where I go to school. Bemidji University? Never heard of it, Joe says with a shrug. Yeah, it's not real big. It's about 4 hours north of St. Paul. That's where I'm from. One went to Chicago and the other to St. Paul, Joe sings before asking, "You like it there?" I do. I really do, Kat says, nodding. Some things more than others, but overall, yeah. Yeah, I really wasn't a fan of Challenge Cycling. A lot of shady stuff. Plus, they fired me, Joe adds with a grin. Wow, Kat replies, her head jerking back. I guess I can see why that would leave a sour taste in your mouth. Oh, it did, but not like you think. After I got the teaching job, I stopped working at Challenge until school was over, and then I started at a different location than their Dunwoody store. They have 3. Anyway, one of my former workmates started the shop where I've worked since 1987, North Fulton. He asked me if I wanted to work there, and I jumped ship. Challenge has an owner, a general manager, and store managers. JT was the store manager in Dunwoody where I started. He was cool in a kind of crazy way, but John Davidson was the general manager and just super shady. In any case, I turned in my 2 weeks, told my store manager why, and John calls up looking for him, but I'm running the shop that day. I already knew it was SOP for Challenge to fire employees who turned in their notice with the intention of going elsewhere. In retrospect, it kind of makes sense, but I still don't like the blemish. Long story short, I like North Fulton way more than Challenge Dunwoody or Eastside. What kind of things bother you about Shift List? Kat exhales, bobbles her head, and says, "Probably my biggest problem is not being taken seriously, you know? Not by the shop, just some of the customers." "Male customers," she concludes, head tilted down and brow raised high.